What's going on, guys? My name's Brad, aka iPod Memorizer 11, and welcome back to the history of iPod. And today I'm going to be talking about my trickshotting history, and I'm also going to be talking about my CTN days, so I can kind of balance out the time that I'm probably going to be spending on my Red X and Amore Clan commentary, which is probably going to be coming up next episode, so be on the lookout for that whenever that drops. So, trickshotting's played a pretty big part of my channel. I've been doing it since I started my YouTube channel, and it's you can definitely see it in quite a few of my videos. I always try to include some trickshot thingy in there whenever I can, but I started trickshotting when I began watching FaZe in 2011. I don't exactly remember what got me into it exactly, but I know one of the first episodes I watched was one of FaZe Mala's episodes when he was still in FaZe. I think the episode used Coming In Hot by Hollywood Undead, and that's why I liked it so much, because back then I was a huge fanboy of Hollywood Undead for some reason, so I really liked that episode. And starting off trickshotting, I was really bad at it, but I still tried to do it anyways whenever I could, and you could definitely see that in my first MW2, or my only MW2 live commentary in S&D, and it was meant to be a Road to Trickshot series, but I never actually went for an actual trick shot, so I renamed it an MW2 live commentary session or something like that. But yeah, back then I was really bad. I just did it for fun, and I tried to do a trick shot every time we went into S&D, but that never really worked out, because this was back when I was doing S&D with Fernimac and Nas Charisma and Nas Rewinds. They were all in my MW2 live session commentary. If you want to go see that for some reason, I guess it was funny back in the day, but it's just really bad quality. My voice volume, the microphone I was using was really staticky, and you could definitely hear it in the background. It interferes with the game volume pretty badly, but if you want to go watch for some reason, be my guest. Kind of understand what I'm getting at here, but anyways, I tried going for trick shots, and we never really got around to it because they were always try-harding, and we usually had a random on our team that just killed last anyways, or I just died because I sucked. So that all changed one day. I hit my first quote-unquote trick shot in September 2011, but I say quote-unquote trick shot because it wasn't actually a trick shot. It was ground 360 on Invasion. It was mid-map, and the kid was camping, and I got up behind him, and I spun around once and half-scoped him and called it a trick shot. I was reacting like crazy. That was the biggest reaction I ever had, and I don't know why I was reacting so much over such a bad clip, and I don't really react over all of my other clips, which are 100 times better, but that's what I did back then. So after MW3 came out, I didn't really trickshot all that much after I figured out that trickshotting in MW3 is absolutely garbage, so that kind of went down for a while, and then I started talking to Brayden a lot more, and then we decided to start recording for a private match montage. And before this, I don't know why, but Brayden, we were always doing private match trickshotting on MW3 and MW2 just to hit really terrible kill cams, and Brayden actually stuck a couple quote-unquote good kill cams for back then, because this was 2012, early 2012, so kill cams weren't that good for back then, but he decided to shove a couple private match clips in his episodes. I'll link those in the description if you want to go see them. The rest of the episode's pretty decent, but he did sneak in a few. You could definitely tell which ones they were, because person setting up, I guess, and it was just the kill cam, but later on, we decided to start recording for a private match montage named Undercover, but it took quite a while to get the clips. We only had about 20 clips after a few months, and we just gave up on that. I was going to edit it to some Logic song, I think. I don't remember the exact song, but I just looked at the clips one more time, and then I just gave up on it because the clips were a couple months old when I got around to editing to it, and they were just absolutely terrible, and this was in the summer, so I just gave up on that idea in June, I think. And also around that time, we met up with Mikey, and we found out that he was a pretty good sniper / trick shotter, and progressively we started to invite him more and more to our 6-mans, and I can link his first kill cam that I recorded online, and it was wrist twist 720 or something like that, but I'll just link it in the description. It's one of my unlisted videos that I had up, but I just took it down because he turned into a complete retard. But anyways, so throughout the summer of 2012, it was mainly taken up by Trickshotting and also like the infected lobbies and the cops and robbers and some MW3 in there, but not really. It was mostly just Trickshotting, and whenever other people got on, we played private match games. So around this time I also joined CTN, and I completely forgot to mention the backstory behind Leader and Brayden. So in 2012, like, this was before Undercover, and this was still kind of while I was playing MW3 solo, just doing whatever, leveling up, recording for the early Nebula, probably, but Brayden always joined up with this guy named Nosen, and we met him through a guy named Devin. We met him back in Black Ops 1, but he wasn't really that good at all. We just talked to him, and he just kind of went away after a while. He just quit Xbox for whatever reason, but we found Nosen, or Tanner, and he was a trick shotter mainly, and he always had these clans that he started up, but I'm pretty sure throughout the course of like 3 months while we were doing like Undercover and stuff, he went through like 6 clans with Nosen. There was like Fall WS, which was with sniping, SWS sniping with style, and units, and there's probably others in there that I don't even remember, but those clans always ended within like a few weeks, and then he started up a new one with like the exact same members, and then the cycle just kept on going. And around that time I was also joining their session and killing them because they were always big on setting up, like asking for a person to set up for them for some reason. And this was in early 2012, like before setting up was kind of like the norm in MW2, so I always tried to join their session and kill them when I was last because I was a doucher like that. And that's basically how that went. But in June/July, I think it was like late June, I decided to join one of Nosen's clans because I thought we would probably do something with it, and it lasted like for at least a month, which was actually longer than all the other clans that he did, so that's, I guess, good. But it wasn't really that bad. It was the only clan I ever joined, so I can't really compare it to anything, but joined CTN. I called myself CTN IPod, obviously, and all we did was just 6-man, and we had about 11 members, I think. Like, the main members I talked to were Nosen, this kid named Desire, a guy named Audio. He was a squeaker. He ended up getting kicked for trash talking like a week after the clan started, and we stopped talking to him. And then Nosen's best friend Mox, and he was a really good trick shotter, but he always had the tendency to rage quit or like eat someone because, I don't know, they were talking back to him or something like that. And then there was Maul, and he joined later, not like in the beginning, but like a few weeks later after the clan started, and he didn't really do much. He just took up space in our 6-man. Then there was Muzo. We 6-man with him a lot. He was good friends with Brayden, so he always took up space. Then there was Flav, or Flav, or Flavor Phrase, I guess, and he was the co-leader of CTN, and there was also a thing like, it was Face Trick's second account. That's what Nosen always referred him to. I don't know why they referred to him as Face Trick, but he wasn't actually Face Trick, but I don't know, he convinced them otherwise, but then we realized that he wasn't. So he was the co-leader, and I think he had one episode on there, but yeah. Then there was Aatrox, and then there was me and Brayden. And Aatrox, he didn't do much, but he was pretty good, actually. He had a couple shots, I remember, but like, that's pretty much all he did, just hit shots, but he never did anything with them because the clan ended too early. And so we got the channel started up. I was going on a dry streak, Audio got kicked out, and there was like this whole drama on that. And then Nosen posted his first episode on the channel. I think it was his episode was first, and the editing was just really awful on it. There's really no other way to explain it besides awful, because I don't know, the screen flashes, he used like a different color correction. Not even like a color correction, he just changed like the color of the screen. He just it was just a terrible edit, but if you want to go see the video for some reason just to see what I'm talking about, then I'll leave a link in the description to that. And then next up, he decided to edit Flav's video, and the clips were really good in Flav's video for back then, but the edit just made it 10 times worse. And then the last episode we posted was Desire's episode, and the editing was, as usual, really bad because Nosen edited it, so we kind of yelled at Nosen for it, and I couldn't really do anything. I hit 1 kill cam during my time in CTN, so I was hoping on editing my own episode in that clan before it ended, but that didn't go down as well as I wanted to, so we yelled at Nosen for not really knowing how to edit, and we told him to get like new editors, but he never did that because he didn't really know how to lead the clan all that much. He tried getting a shout out from FaZe Fatal, but I guess he got scammed out of it. Supposedly FaZe Fatal, I'm pretty sure it was a scam account. So he spent like $100 on promotions that never worked out, so we never got the promotion for FaZe Fatal like we thought we were gonna get. And also he spent like a crap ton of money on our alt accounts. He spent money on a 1-year account, I think, on my CTN iPod, and then he spent it on the Sprizzen account, if I'm correct. So he just spent a lot of money, and then it didn't really come to favor, I guess. The clan ended a bit later because people started leaving, and I don't know, I wasn't really on that night, and I deleted the conversation from my Skype, so I can't really read it over again. I don't exactly remember what it was, but clan ended like mid to late July, and I just went along my merry way. I didn't really care all that much because I didn't really contribute at all. I just did the Sticks Mans with Mikey and Brayden and all those people, but and then like a few weeks later, Nosen started up Habits, and I didn't join that, but Brayden joined that for some reason, but the clan ended like a couple weeks later. So that's that. So I kept my CTN iPod GT gamertag to Trickshot on, and that's basically all I did. My dry streak still held on to for like the rest of the summer for some reason. I was just awful at trickshotting, but during that time I was also like a really complex trickshotter, so I was going for I was really big into the complexity thing and not really the distance type. There were like 2 types of trickshotters. There were the complexity people and the distance people, and the distance people usually went for like the pistol swap kill cams from like across the map, and complexity people, they always tried to shove as many things as they possibly could before they hit the ground, and I was one of those people because I always thought it was pretty good, and I fanboyed Sorshay back then, and I don't think he does much now, but that was always the person I looked up to when trickshotting, and basically also MW2 trickshotting was kind of abysmal in 2012 because people were always setting up, and I was really against the setting up. Like whenever we could get into a random lobby, I always tried to stay, but we ended up backing out because people kept on tryharding. And also there were those times where we invited Brayden's brother to set up for us. I had nothing to do with that, but Brayden decided to get him in there anyways, and you all know how I hit the Sui shot on Bryson as well. I mentioned that in my commentary back in the MW3 one, if I'm correct. But so the summer ended, and I didn't really trickshot anymore because we started hating Mikey because he turned into a complete retard, and that's basically it on that. And then when Black Ops 2 started up, I started trickshotting a little because Mikey, Miles invited me to 6 Mans, and Mikey was always there with a couple of his friends, so I kind of unmuted him just to talk to him, just so wasn't really left out of the conversation. But I stopped doing the 6 Mans with Miles, so I didn't have to talk to him anymore, and I just remuted him and blocked him and all that stuff, so stopped trickshotting after that for a few months, and then Tommy introduced me to CTS, and that's kind of what got me back into trickshotting. I was trickshotting on my Habit Sprizzen account at the time, so we always went into S&D games, and we trickshotted with all these people, and I 6-man with him a lot, and CTS also introduced me to Eduardo, which was basically a clear-out person, and he was a pretty cool guy. He's not like the typical clear-outs where they don't do anything but like sweats. he was cool. And we also did it with like Sam, Tommy, Braden, and there's probably a couple other people that I'm not remembering right now, but those were like the main people that got on and did six-mans with us. So we carried that out through the summer. We had a lot of shits and gigs moments, and if you guys have seen the shits and gigs episodes I've linked in the past, then you'll kind of get an idea of what we did. And so that's basically it. And also I hit like one shots throughout that entire time. I was doing even worse than the MW2 trick-shotting days, which is pretty pathetic, but I was never big on hitting trick shots for some reason. I hit like my first like actual trick shot, not like the one I hit in 2011, but like my first actual trick shot was in 2012. It was like June 13th. This was before I joined CTN, and then my first Black Ops 2 kill cam was like 1 year later, but like a few days after that. So that's basically it on that. And where I am now, I stopped trick-shotting after the summer ended. People stopped getting on. They started doing like GTA and other games. So I haven't really trick-shotted much since then. And whenever I do, I just kind of quit out after a couple games because the six-mans are always really terrible. And Phase 5, I did a little bit of trick-shotting, but it wasn't much. I just did it because Tommy was always wanting to do that, and he never wanted to play like Ground War or whatever, so I just kind of had to stick along with him to the six-mans, and I didn't hit anything then. But after that, I don't really remember me trick-shotting anymore. That's basically it. I was always really fond of trick-shotting for some reason, but I could never hit a shot. I just kind of stood there and killed people, and also got a lot of attempts out of it, but never really hit something. I'm just a really awfully unlucky person, but whatever. I started sniping normally afterwards, like into the Black Ops 2 time, and so that's basically it on my trick-shotting history. And I didn't really expect this video to go so long, but there was quite a bit to talk about since this is I've been trick-shotting since like the beginning of my YouTube channel. So thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed it, and until next time, we'll see you guys later.